Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Joining BJ Rains today is KTVB Sports Director Jay Tust. Check him out on Twitter at KTVB Sports Guy and make sure to check out KTVB.com. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Now here's Jay Tust and BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Well, greetings, Boise State fans, and welcome on in on the road today. Lithia Ford of Boise, excited to be here today. As you see, it's a beautiful day outside, and it's awesome inside as well. We're going to be telling you all about the F-150 Lightnings. Excited to be here. We got Boise State fans already in the house trying to win these tickets. Look at that truck, by the way, the Bronco truck, the wrap outside, awesome vehicle, and that would be pretty cool for a Boise State fan to be driving right there, the Bronco F-150. But we mentioned we're here on behalf of Lithia Ford of Boise. The F-150 Lightning, we'll tell you all about it during the show, but it's an awesome vehicle. I thought my F-150, the traditional platinum version, was nice, but I'm trying to persuade my wife to upgrade here. Loving the F-150 Lightning and all the things that it can do. We're going to tell you all about it. They've got them for sale, for lease, everything here at Lithia Ford of Boise. And probably one of the coolest features here is the fact that there's no engine. I went to lift up the front of the vehicle here, as you're going to see in the video, and there is literally no engine. I guess that's a common sense when it's an electric vehicle, but I thought it was pretty cool that there you go. You need some extra trunk space right there in the front of a Lithia Ford of Boise F-150 Lightning. And Jim Sterk, the GM here at Lithia Ford, is a big sponsor of Bronco Nation News. Got his own jersey. He's got all of his own Boise State gear. Look at this office. I mean, is there a better office for a Boise State fan than Jim Sterk and what he's got at Lithia Ford of Boise, all the autographed helmets and things. And you see the picture right there, the 3 NIL deals they have at Lithia Ford of Boise, Talon Green, Paige Barsh, and I would script the video there, and obviously Riley Smith. And you see right there, they've got the signs. There they are right above the vehicle. Jim's got it right there. And as we bring you on in here live, BJ Rains, Jay Tust, excited to be here on Bronco Nation News Live. And yeah, right up here on the wall, they've got the NIL deals, and Jim's been doing a lot for NIL, so we appreciate him. He's going to come on later in the show, and Jim is giving away 4 tickets to the UCF game. Got him right here. If you want to go to the game tomorrow, Jim's going to come on at the end and give them away. But, Jay, we were just down talking to Andy Avalos today. A lot going on. Game day tomorrow. How we doing, man?
I'm doing great. This is what we kind of live for, not only to cover this Boise State football team, but particularly to do it here in the City of Trees when they get to play over on the blue turf. And BJ, it blows my mind. Like the blue turf is, I mean, this is decades old, right?
Yep.
And people want to argue that maybe it's lost mystique or whatever Rocky Long said years ago. And then you're reminded on a week like this week, there is still plenty of mystique in the blue. It can be an incredible home field advantage. And in all honesty, it still gets inside the heads of the opponents that Boise State plays, despite the fact, again, this playing surface has been around for decades.
It's pretty crazy this week. I mean, I saw like legitimate UCF fans saying it should be illegal. I mean, they're like, wait a minute, they can't do that, can they? No, it's illegal. They can't wear a blue uniform on a blue field. Like, what? No, they can't do that. Like, what? And then somebody from Oklahoma State, that was my favorite one. I don't know if you saw that. Pistol Pete or whatever was the Twitter handle, came in and said that the reason JL Skinner blew that guy up and that there were some other big hits during that game is because the Oklahoma State players couldn't see the players coming.
You know what? I would love to try and dismiss that, but I am just going to lean into it. You know what? At this point in time, just lean into it. Yeah, it makes them invisible on the blue. They are 111-6 all time when wearing their all blue uniforms. And BJ, I'm trying to remember, man, there haven't been too many road games that I've covered. I'm trying to think if there's honestly been even one where Boise State has been able to sport their all blue look. I think there was one time in maybe at Colorado State years ago when, that was back when like Kellen was playing. But
they did do it one time against Oregon in the Las Vegas Bowl.
Okay.
It was all blue.
I didn't even think about a bowl game. Yeah. Yep. So I just had somebody from, that covers Central Florida reach out to me and said, is that 111-6 record all blue on the blue? I said, no, that includes just their all blue uniforms, regardless of where they play. Although a vast majority of those have happened on the blue turf here in Boise.
Yeah, and it sounds like UCF was going to go practice on a blue field. They didn't. Yeah. They didn't end up doing that for whatever reason. I think the bigger story there is that they're not leaving until 1:45 p.m. Eastern time, almost noon here, to take a 5-hour flight up to Boise. Scheduled to land in Boise around 4:45 later this afternoon. And just for reference, like when Boise State went to UCF, which was a shorter flight because you're going east, they went on a Thursday. Boise State is going on Thursday when they play Memphis here in a couple of weeks. They're going on a Thursday for an hour and a half shorter flight. So for whatever reason, Gus Malzahn did not want to mess with the routine, and they're going to do a 5.5-hour flight, land, and play 24 hours later.
That's an interesting move. We'll see if it pays off or works out for them. Maybe it keeps his team extra focused. You get that extra practice at your own facility early Friday morning. So maybe that's what he's hoping for there. But either way, man, this is like, I cannot think of a better opponent for Boise State to play to open up the home portion of their schedule here in 2023. There could not possibly be a better opponent.
Yeah.
And I said this on my podcast earlier this week, BJ, and that's the fact that, once upon a time, UCF was referred to as the next Boise State, right? They were the team that started their Cinderella story with, a couple of unbelievable seasons in a row and their national championship, and they went to the Fiesta Bowl. They had that same kind of whimsical feel, if you will, as Boise State, did 15 years ago. And now UCF is the team that has improved their facilities.
Yeah.
They have moved into a Power 5 conference. And I know this won't be popular to say, but now one could argue that Boise State is trying to be the next UCF. I don't think that Boise State wants to be UCF, especially, their football team, because Boise State's history and tradition, it goes back much longer than UCF's does.
Sure.
But when you look at the position of their entire athletic program, one could say that Boise State wants to follow that trajectory one day.
I mentioned Kareem, get over here. We're here at Lithia Ford of Boise. Jim Sterk's giving away tickets, and we already have Kareem the Dream showing up. He's got the Boise State jersey. He's ready to go today. We appreciate it, Kareem, for coming by. You got to check out some of the vehicles here, and when Jim comes on in a little bit, we're going to see if if anyone else has 20 minutes to try to make it down here and fight you for these tickets. Maybe you're block the door or something and not let them in, but we'll see if we can. Folks want to come down. You got 20 minutes or so. Kareem's going to maybe be the leader right now to pick up these tickets, and so we got some tickets that Jim Sterk is giving away, and Lithia Ford of Boise. So Jim will come on the show and do that a little later here. But again, broadcasting with the F-150 Lightning right behind us, and give us your final thoughts, your final score predictions, how you're feeling about this one. We would love to know. Kind of a little over 24 hours from kickoff here. I guess what are we? 29 hours, 30 hours from kickoff. What is your feeling, Bronco Nation, as you get ready for this game? Folks are loving you, by the way, Kareem. You get some comments and stuff. Always one of our great commenters. We appreciate him for coming by. And Jay, we talked to Andy Avalos briefly. I have the clip. I don't know if we want to set it up first or if we should just play it. But new thing on Fridays here that we've talked about. Andy speaking. We were told 5 minutes. It was 1 minute and 14 seconds. He did talk to us a little afterwards.
5 minutes is a long time to go, especially when you're so close to game day. I don't know if I expect him to ever just roll on for 5 minutes this late in the week.
It was funny. He was starting around it. I think he's wrapping up, and I'm like, 1 minute and 6 seconds. I was like, all right. So luckily we had to come.
We're
here.
learning. We're growing.
To do, but he did break some news though afterwards.
Unfortunately, looks like a local product out of Eagle High School. Ethan McKeed is going to miss the rest of the season with the torn ACL. This This one breaks my heart because, I mean, he's a local kid. I know I cover a lot of these kids in high school with Friday Night Football, and I remember Ethan's senior season at Eagle High School. This kid had an incredible offseason going into his senior year and was really in a position to take off. I thought he might be a guy that might be able to earn a scholarship at a Division I school. Instead, his second touch of the season, his first touch, he houses, right? His second touch, he tears his ACL and he's out for the rest of the year. Still, he's able to secure that walk-on spot at Boise State. Well, now he's a redshirt freshman for the Broncos, was starting on their kickoff team. On the very first play of the season, the opening kickoff at the University of Washington, he goes down with a non-contact injury to his other leg the other ACL that he tore in high school, the opposite knee, that is. And so he's going to miss the rest of the season. And that's unfortunate. Like I said, that breaks my heart because any kid that gets hurt like that, the first play of the season, I mean, that's devastating. But the fact that it's a local kid just kind of amplifies that, at least for me. So we wish Ethan the best of luck. He already tweeted out, just a minor bump in the road. He's going to be back, and we certainly look forward to that, Ethan.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And Andy told us that after the short minute and 15 seconds that he was able to talk to us. The score predictions are coming in, Jay, 38-15. Jesse says, Bill says 33-28, 38-35 from Chad. Jonathan going specific here. Dalmas with the walk-off field goal for the win. So
real quick, as it pertains to Ethan Makita's injury, I want to spin this into a positive here, at least for another player, but there is a true freshman walk-on out of Rocky Mountain High School. He looks like he's an undersized guy. His name is Troy Wilkie. He's taking over for Ethan Makita on kickoff now. So another local kid, a true freshman walk-on, BJ. That's unique, man.
Yeah.
And so Andy loves his toughness. Kid's been clocked at over 21 miles per hour. So a big opportunity for Troy Wilkie to kind of start his Boise State football career off on the right note and contribute when I don't know if anybody really thought that he would have a chance to do it this early. And one more note, if you go back and look at that opening kickoff, BJ.
Yep.
I mean, I'm definitely not faulting the kid because he was hurt on the play, but that was a big reason for the big return by the University of Washington.
Out past midfield.
Ethan went down, and the guy that was going to block him for the University of Washington bumps to the outside, and all of a sudden UW's got a huge numbers advantage on the outside. They gain leverage. They break off a big run to start that game. So bummer about Ethan, though, no doubt.
Well, let's hear from Andy Avalos. Again, it was only about a minute and 15 seconds. He's doing this on Friday mornings, kind of a last-second preview of the game, last-second thoughts. And this was a short time ago this morning. Andy Avalos on the Blue on day before game, speaking with the media. Final thoughts ahead of the opener against UCF.
Welcome, guys. It's been a good week. We've, from Sunday's prep all the way through until this morning, we've had awesome meetings. And again, just working towards making a big jump from game number 1 to game number 2 in any season. That's where the biggest jump takes place. It needs to take place is going from that game 1 to game 2. We're excited about the way the guys have brought the energy and the urgency this week and the focus, on the specific details that we aim at cleaning up from the first opportunity we had. And so today is nothing different. In the Fast Friday, we're going to get finish up the game plan here and execute some things at full speed, and then make sure that we're cleaning up and polishing the game plan on the rest. As always, this game's going to come down to the line of scrimmage. This team has ran the ball for a bunch of yards, and they got a big physical defensive front that is more athletic than the one we saw last week as well. So the challenge always starts at the line of scrimmage, and then what we're able to do from there. Just being consistent, with our opportunities, one play, one drive at a time is going to be the key. Obviously, starting off fast here, the first opportunity here to get to play our first home game in this season is going to be huge for us, and I know the guys are excited about that. So we're looking forward to having everybody here at Albertson Stadium on Saturday night. Go Broncos.
Well, there was Andy Avalos speaking with the media. By the way, we got Manfred coming up here. We got multiple people here now fighting for these tickets. I saw Kareem the Dream's mental state drop a little when he saw somebody else walk in the door. That maybe he wasn't the only one here that was going to go for the tickets. So we'll have to see how Jim Sterk decides this. We may have 2 pairs, so we may have 2 sets. We'll see if you guys are lucky. Jim will do that at the end of the show. But any other takeaways? We did find out that Marco Notarini, Jay, is going to carry the hammer. You've got Garrett Curran and
Alexander
Tubner with the flags. Any takeaways from Andy or any kind of last minute thoughts?
No, I'm just excited to see some of these guys bounce back. And, on the social media platform that is Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. I know Alexander Tubner is a guy that has taken a little bit of heat this week, and some of it might be warranted, but as much of it is it's overboard in my opinion. I know that you watched the Thursday night game last night between Kansas City,
yes.
and in Detroit. I'm gonna go. I hate it when people say that certain college, like a large group or basically a college team, could compete with a really poor NFL team. Like even the worst NFL team is the best of the best that played at college, right? But man, I honestly think that UW starting 3 wide receivers could be the top 3 wide receivers for the Kansas City Chiefs right now. I really do believe that they're that good. But getting back to Alexander Tubner, I think the dude's gonna have a massive bounce back. He's really important to this team. He plays more than anyone on this team when you combine his defensive snaps and his special team snaps. And then, oh, by the way, Andy Avalos is trotting him out there as one of his team captains for the home opener against UCF, one of the biggest home games that Boise State has played in quite some time. They believe in that dude. He is part of the fabric of this team, and his success will be pivotal for Boise State's success this fall.
What about the defense as a whole? Everything you heard this week from players, coaches, what went wrong in the Washington game, how they're feeling. Do you feel any differently right now than you did walking off the field after that game at UW?
I mean, like the fact that we get to kind of hang out at practice and stuff a little bit, and we see some of the intensity right now. Like I'm not saying that practices aren't normally intense, but notably even like the wide receivers, we'll probably get to the offense in a second. You could tell the intensity amongst the wide receivers was ratcheted up quite a bit this week. Matt Miller was not giving those guys any room, to not do what was the standard they called or be perfect, really. Yeah. But yeah, I'm really eager to see how this defense bounces back. I'm eager to see, not only how the players bounce back, how the coaches bounce back. Do they use different personnel? UCF is a really up-tempo team. They're going to go fast. UW only ran 61 plays of offense. I guarantee you that UCF is going to run a whole hell of a lot more than that. And so do they test the depth? Do we see a guy like Ty Benefield, a true freshman, actually get in at safety for a little bit to spell a guy like Rodney Robinson, Zion
Just
Washington?
Catch the ball if you're in there at the 1 yard line again,
right?
Ty, come on.
Yeah, right. On that punt, Zion Washington, the same deal, backing up a guy like Alexander Tubner. I think we're going to see a little bit more of the depth of the secondary rolled out against UCF to try to stop the Golden Knights. But a big test, BJ.
Be careful. They're not the Golden Knights.
Oh, my bad.
Hold Mike Prater and get the whole town of Orlando on you.
Good. I'm thinking of Las Vegas Golden Knights, right? Yes. Yeah. No, the Knights. And so
I've made that mistake.
Or are they just golden?
They're just the Knights.
They're not just golden. They're the Knights. Okay, my bad. Okay.
I love it.
It's one interesting. It's a very convenient opponent if you're trying to bounce back from all these eye discipline issues that Boise State struggled with against the University of Washington. So big test, man. Big test. And, hey, Michael Penix Jr. scares you because the guy can make any throw on the football field. John Reese Plumlee kind of scares you in a different way because he's a little more unpredictable, man. If he can go get it with his legs, and he's a really phenomenal athlete that plays with a chip on his shoulder, and he's a scary dude that Boise State's going to have their hands full.
What about offensively? We got a lot of the talk about the running game, about running the ball more. Do you feel any differently offensively based on our conversations with Bush Hamden, Taylor Green?
I still am of the mindset that and I am definitely in the minority here. I didn't mind the way that the University of Washington came out against Boise State came out on offense against the University of Washington. I mean, they weren't running the ball a ton early, and it was working. It led to 18 minutes of football where Boise State had a lead over the University of Washington on the road, and then if anything, they kind of tried to start getting away from that, and I felt like that's when UW put their foot on the gas and started to run away from the Broncos. So I guess I'm just interested to see, what slight adjustments they make. Every game has its own different game plan. And I know that UCF has a super athletic front. So how do they get those bodies moving, open up some run lanes so that Ashton Genty and company can have a big afternoon on the blue against the Knights?
Who is a player or two? I mean, Taylor Green's the obvious answer. Rodney Robinson, an obvious answer. But I mean, who are a couple of guys that maybe it's just Ashton Genty, even though he didn't, he played good last game.
Yeah.
Who's a guy or two you're looking at that if Boise State's going to win this game, they've got to really bring it tomorrow?
Well, Ashton went for $153 last week. He's probably got the potential to do it again this week. So I feel like that one's way too obvious to pick. One of these wide receivers has to kind of have his moment, BJ. One of them has to step up. We saw Eric McAllister at times look really, really good against the University of Washington. 7 catches on 15 targets. They have to find a way to be more efficient than that. You can't only have 7 grabs on 15 targets. But he's a guy that's he's big time. And I think that it's going to happen. I think he's going to be a 1,000-yard wide receiver this year. And I think that if you saw the usage of him and how they were using him in the season opener, again, he played more. I think I said this back on Tuesday on the show, BJ, but he played more snaps in the slot against the University of Washington than he did all of last year. And I was curious about if I was just seeing that right, or if that was correct. And I asked Taylor Green, he's like, oh yeah, that's right. We're moving him around. Yeah. And so they're trying to make him their go-to wide receiver and give him the ball. 15. That is a lot, man. That is a lot of targets. Taylor threw the ball 39 times. 15 of them went at Eric McAllister. But beyond him, they have to have these wide receivers play with confidence. They have to play with confidence. And it's not just about doing the routine. They need the Cedric Wilson, the Khalil Shakir type moments, the Matt Miller, their position coach type moments where on these 50-50 balls, they turn them into 80-20 balls and they go up and they get it with confidence. And I didn't see that last week out of really any wide receiver. They made some nice grabs, don't get me wrong, but I didn't see him go get it with that confidence, that dominant number one, I'm the dude mindset that they have to adopt, they have to instill, they have to take after, quite honestly, their position coach.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We mentioned the crowd or the blue earlier. It sounds like it's trending towards a capacity crowd tomorrow. They got
a capacity crowd?
Yes. Every seat will probably be filled.
Okay.
Is that what a capacity crowd is?
No, I just seeing how you phrase it. I'm just joshing you, man. I'm just kidding.
Call
with
it a
you.
sellout, call it whatever you want.
I'm kidding with you.
The most important thing is every seat will be filled.
And it needs to be.
Yeah.
This game's big. I said it earlier in the show, this isn't a football team game. This isn't players versus players or coaches versus coaches. This is a game where the entire program, fan base, everything has to be clicking, because it's not going to help Boise State. This game's not going to help Boise State get a Power 5 invite, and who knows if those opportunities will even be around for much longer with the way that realignment has gone recently. But it will certainly create a little bit of a discussion, though, because Boise State forever has said, no, we've achieved more for longer than UCF.
Yeah.
And in order for that to mean something, you got to take care of that team in your house when they're beginning their journey in the Big 12 and you're still left in a Group of 5 conference.
Would you expect it to be one of those kind of electric atmospheres tomorrow night?
If it's not, I don't know how it's not going to be. I mean, you've got the massive new scoreboard, the new lights. I know that it's not going to be a completely dark game. I still think you're going to feel the effect of them, especially by the time the fourth quarter rolls around. It's the first football game of the season. I don't care if they trotted out Rocky Mountain High School against Boise State. This should be an unbelievably cool atmosphere, just because it is the home opener. Football is back in the city of trees, folks. It is back.
I know you mentioned Prince. There's a lot of love for Prince. There's a lot of love for Prince on the comments right now. Based on what we heard, they trotted him out there for media last week, and then they said they had him in 5-day plays.
Yep.
We didn't really see him. Was he maybe on a special teams play or two? I think. I don't know if he actually got the book said he got in the game. But what are your thoughts? I guess I know you touched on it, but the fans are really wanting to see Prince.
Yeah. Boise State has to control the game enough to get guys like Prince and maybe even Breezy Dubar significant opportunities. These are young guys. They're both. I mean, Prince was enrolled. He was a part of the last recruiting class, but he gray shirted. So technically he was a part of this recruiting class, at least from a numbers perspective.
Yep.
And so he is a true freshman. Breezy Dubar is a true freshman. They have very specific packages. They are not saying, here is the whole playbook, know it, because we're going to count on you to run everything. I mean, granted, they are doing that behind closed doors, but they're saying, here, don't focus on this. We need you to dominate and have a lot of confidence in this. And Boise State has to put themselves in position to get to this. 56-19 does not allow them to get to this, right?
Yep.
That's what they have to do in order to see guys like Prince and Breezy Dubar, potentially shine on a Saturday, whether it be this Saturday or one, just down the road from here.
Jay, there's a realignment question on here. What are you making about? We haven't talked about that in a while, but John Reagan's wanting to know. Just we saw the report yesterday about the reverse merger. Maybe where are you at on the realignment stuff?
From my understanding, they are getting much closer to figuring out the value of what is left over in the Pac-12 conference. And that number is going to dictate the reverse merger or just the exodus of the final two teams from the Pac-12 into the Mountain West Conference. Either way, you're going to see Washington State and Oregon State playing with teams currently in the Mountain West in the very near future. I mean, that the marriage is inevitable. It's just, what is the conference going to be called? And kind of the thing that hovers over the Pac-12, there's a massive debt that has to be paid out to Comcast, but there is still, value in the Pac-12 networks. And it's not, it's even like cameras, things like that. Like, there still is a massive value left over there. The name of the Pac-12 conference has a certain value over probably the Mountain West. So everybody's lawyered up from right now is what I'm being told.
Yep.
It could be something that has to play out a little bit, but I do think that we are a week or two away from finding out the value of what remains in the Pac-12 conference. And once Oregon State and Washington State have an understanding of what that value is, that's where they become the players in this thing, or not. They say, hey, we got $100 million in value. You guys want to come over here? We'll do it. Come on over to the Pac-12. We got all this.
You're a Pac-12 guy. I mean, is that name still going to mean more than the Mountain West?
Yeah. There's 108 years of history tied to it. I absolutely think it carries more weight than the Mountain West. It does.
Even with two teams.
Even with two teams.
So is that what you think is more likely to happen? That this new league's called the Pac-12 or Pac?
I might actually start leaning back that way because, again, from my understanding, there is significant value in the Pac-12. But it's only, we'll wait and see.
All right, final thing for you before we're going to bring Jim on here in a minute, and I know Jim's going to talk about these vehicles and give away some tickets. But final thing from you, Jay, just your final analysis, final thoughts. Whether you want to pick a winner or not, feel free. But just as we've been worrying, thinking about this game all week. I know you got a lot to do on your game day show and stuff tomorrow still to do. But just what are as you're lasering in on this? How you feeling Boise State's chances are?
This is the opportunity to prove that you can be the team that they've been telling us they can be all fall, right? They said that their team chemistry is as good as it's ever been. They say that they're bigger, they're stronger, and faster than they've ever been. But now they have to also prove that they're more disciplined and focused than they've ever been. And it might hurt to question those last two things, but the lack of execution was a massive difference maker in the season opener. They have to come out. They have to execute. They have to be flawless. And for me, BJ, it's, again, another thing that might sting to hear, but it is what it is. When I first started covering this team, they had a really, really good left-handed quarterback that's the best college football has ever seen because he went 50-3. But they had Chris Peterson, who he is the gold standard of college football coaches. He's the best to ever roll through Boise State and one of the best to ever roll through Lake Washington or the stadium by Lake Washington, Husky Stadium. But so often after these early season matchups, it was the opposing coaches that would go back on their Monday press conference and say, we lacked eye control.
We're a lot better than we showed.
We're a lot better than we showed.
Yeah.
We believe we're better than this. And Boise State's over there laughing at them and like, we took advantage of our downtime and we got everything just perfect. So we come out and kick your butt. And so now Boise State, their coaches have kind of been on that end. They took full responsibility, but it is time to get back to getting Gus Malzahn at his Monday press conference to be like, man, Taylor Green, that running game, their misdirection, our eye discipline was off. We gave up too much. We have to be better than that. We are better than that. Make Gus Malzahn on Monday admit those things at his press conference, and they'll be okay.
All right, you heard it from Jay Tust. Jay, appreciate you coming down, man. Jay's got a ton going on.
Yep.
Give us a quick rundown on the next 24 hours, KTVB, whether it's high school, Boise State. What do we got going on?
Yeah,
here?
going back now to slam together the rest of the pregame show. Friday Night Football begins tonight during the news at 10. A lot of good games. A highlight game is probably Rocky Mountain and Eagle. A couple of good players in that contest. And then, yeah, we turn this thing around, and we got our pregame show from 4 to 5 live on the Blue tomorrow. And we will be rocking and rolling. And I'm just I'm eager. For me, and I don't know if it's like this for you, there's certain people that do this job, and like hosting the show is like their work. Nah, man, the moment the show begins, that's when the fun begins.
Oh, yeah.
All the work happens before, and then once the lights and the camera and the action hit, that's where we just get to have fun and talk football. So I can't wait for 4 o'clock.
Well, nobody
tomorrow
does
night.
that better than you, man. Appreciate it. Don't go anywhere. We got some cool stuff still to come here at Lithia Ford of Boise, but want to tell you about a couple of our great sponsors. How about BVA? Tommy Alquist, Paul Ventures Alquist. They do a great job. Idaho's premier commercial realtor. They're a development company, over 10 projects in the Treasure Valley, 3.9 million planned square feet of construction since the company's inception in 2018. BVA has already made an incredible impact on Idaho's commercial real estate market. We appreciate our friends over at BVA. Taco Bell as well, TacoBellWorks.com. They're giving away $300,000 to local scholarships, TacoBellWorks.com. Get more information. We appreciate our friends over at Taco Bell, and our title sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise, here on the pre- and post-game shows. We got rowpaint.com as well, home of the one-day install, 5 times stronger than epoxy. I highly recommend a new concrete coating from rowpaint.com. Check them out, roepaint.com. Okay, arriving in style here, Jim Sterk, getting out of the F-150 Lightning for his segment here. Look at this. This is how you do the make the technology work here. Jim, you can have a seat. We got the headset here for you. Jim Sterk, Lithia Ford of Boise. And folks, I hope you realize how much this guy right here is doing for the community. You saw the NIL deals that he's got. Talon Green, obviously Paige Barsh, and Riley Smith. And it's pretty cool, man. You were one of the first to get involved. First of all, how you doing, Jim?
I'm doing great.
You were one of the first to partner your sponsorship with an NIL deal with Riley Smith, where he was the first guy on the Blue doing the commercials for you guys. So you've kind of been at the forefront of this. What has it meant to you? Why is this important for you to get involved in the NIL and in what you're doing with Boise State?
Well, NIL was not something I thought that we would get involved with. And then Riley Smith shows up at my door. We sit down, have a conversation, and I thought it would be a great idea to partner with him. It didn't take but 20, 30 minutes visiting with that young man and really appreciate what he's meant for us.
What about just Boise State in general? You guys are obviously one of their largest partners, and we see the sign everywhere. The brand new scoreboard, I saw it's got the Ford logo on there. It's going to be cool for everyone to see, but I know you do some of the cars for some of the coaches, and you have signage all over the stadium. Just what is it, I guess, makes you want to continue that partnership, and how big of a Boise State fan are you?
Well, we moved here in 2004, so I wasn't initially a Boise State fan.
Okay.
we became Boise State fans, and then we started a nice partnership deal with them back in 2010. And it's been a great partnership. They treat us the right way. The athletic department's incredible people. And then the guys at Bronco Sports Properties.
Yeah, it's been awesome, and I commend you for what you are doing to help Boise State. And you can't look at, not only when you're driving down the road, you can't drive more than 20 seconds without seeing a bumper sticker or a license plate cover, but all around Boise State, you guys are doing a ton for them, and we also appreciate what you guys are doing for us at BNN here and sponsoring the pre- and post-game shows and some of the other stuff. We were excited we were able to come out here today. We've been talking about the F-150 Lightning. There's one right here behind us. I am going to put some footage that I took up on the screen while we talk about it, but tell us about the F-150 Lightning and why it's starting to become more and more popular, and if folks are out there on the fence about buying a new vehicle, why should this be it?
Well, this is the new venture that many manufacturers have ventured into, and that's all electric vehicles. And F-150 Lightning is the first full-size pickup that's all electric. Runs on no gas at all. So you charge it up and actually you can't hear it. I started it for you earlier. And
yeah, we'll have to do that in a second when we get off the footage here.
You can't hear it. That there that's opening up is we call that the frunk. It's a front trunk for tailgating. You could put ice and
put your cooler right there in the vehicle.
ice
Set up
and
your
your
TV
and your beverages, and
you do have the
it
coolest
drains
office
out.
of anybody I know, by the way, with all the Boise State stuff. I got to give you some more love on this.
We've been partners with them for a while, and so I've collected some cool stuff. Yes.
What in terms of the NIL deals, though? I know you've got 3 different athletes, and I know you wanted to get Paige involved, and she's been real nice for you. We've seen the new commercials that have come out. There's the signage that you have right here in the room, but it all seems like all 3 of them are good, high character kids, and really kind of represent Boise State, but also represent what you got going on at Lithia Ford.
Well, I guess maybe because I'm not, I'm kind of vertically challenged. I'm only 5'10". I decided to find the tallest kids I could to put an NIL deal so I could live vicariously through their height.
Start this thing up while we're talking here. Let's see if we can actually hear it. Do you have to get in there to do it?
Yeah.
Oh, you do. All right. Well, we'll let you get in there real quick. And then we've actually had 3 folks show up. So we're going to have you guys come over here in a second and give us a quick spiel about why you think you deserve the tickets and what your thoughts are on Boise State. And then once the show ends, we're going to let Jim give those away. Kareem the Dream, I think, should have the leg up on some of these here. But we'll see you. I didn't even hear him start it. That was it. That was it. Wow, that's pretty impressive. Well, and I know you have another electric. Go ahead and put the headset back on there for a minute. The F-150 is not the only electric vehicle, though. You have, right?
Yeah, the other venture is the Mustang Mach-E. Interesting vehicle. They basically took the front end of a Mustang, and then they added a couple more doors. So it's a 4-door Mustang Mach-E. It is all electric also. Really, really cool car.
What are the hours here for the next couple of days if folks are wanting to stop by?
We're always open till 8 o'clock at night. We're here at 9 o'clock in the morning in sales. Our service department hours are 7:30 in the morning till 6 p.m.
Well,
So
you're going to see Boise State stuff all over. Now, you added those, but you did have to move. You had some really cool posters here of the Boise State in the Sports Illustrated, so you've had to move a little bit. But
the 3 times that we've been on the cover of Sports Illustrated, I had some posters made years ago that we have hanging in the showroom.
You walk in here, and it's just you can tell right away you guys are Boise State. Somebody wants to know what the torque is on this thing.
Yeah, that's not a question for me. I'll find out though.
You were saying though the pickup, you were explaining it to me similar to like a golf cart at a golf course that's either electric versus gas.
Yeah, the best analogy I can give people is the feeling when you're driving an electric vehicle would be the difference between that gas golf cart and the electric golf cart. The gas golf cart kind of like takes a little bit to get going. The power is instant. It's automatic. It's instant on these and the Mach-E. And I'd tell you this truck. So the battery sits right down the middle of it.
Okay.
And it's evenly distributed. So it's 50-50 weight displacement. If you haven't driven an F-150 in a while, just a regular F-150, fantastic vehicle. This makes it even better because it's a little bit heavier, drives like a dream.
Well,
Unbelievable.
I hope my wife's not watching this because I may be getting talked into trying to upgrade here. But Jim, we sincerely appreciate it. Let's get our 3 guys that are here. Come back here for a second, guys. Come on back here so Bronco Nation can see you. Jim, we're going to have to figure this out here because we have 3 people and 2 sets of tickets. You are giving them away. First of all, guys, pop on here. Give us your name and just your thoughts on the game tomorrow. Come in a little closer here.
Hello, I'm Manfred. Make sure to end the tailgate at early 4:15. Be inside opening kickoff.
Yes.
Make sure no empty seats at opening kickoff. Drink the beers inside. The beers outside can wait.
How you feeling though? You feeling good about the game tomorrow?
Power 5 appointment. I know. I believe in Avalos, so I believe he'll have all the schemes ready. I'm looking forward to the defense. That's why. That's what he's known for. Avalos is known for.
Okay, well, appreciate it, man. Let's pass it on here to Kareem. Kareem the Dream, a fan favorite on the chat here. What are your thoughts on the game tomorrow, man?
Kareem the Dream here. Shout out to BNN. Shout out to BJ. Shout out to Mr. Sterk and Lithia Ford. Biggest takeaway for Boise State is they got to stop John Reese Plumlee. They got to stop Gus Malzahn's trick plays, and you got to get Taylor Green going.
That's it.
34-23 Boise State.
It sounds a lot easier. What was the prediction?
34-23 Boise State.
Okay, that's actually very close to my. Come on in here, sir. We got our 3rd contestant here. Tell us your name and what do you think about the game tomorrow?
Well, Dean Reimer, and I met BJ back in media days in Vegas.
Went all the way to Vegas to media days, and you got to get a picture with Coach Avalos and Jeremiah. And I saw you there in Vegas. Yep, that's right.
I had an enjoyable time. I was there with my brother and sister there as well. But
yep.
I drove up here from Southern California, lived down there, drove up here yesterday all day.
Wow.
Got here about 7:30 last night.
How about that? That's pretty
nice. I thought, what a better.
Do you have tickets?
I do not have tickets. My brother actually
I'll take care of you.
Season tickets.
Oh, okay.
And he's not able to do it. He's got some, medical issues. So he kind of gives his tickets away to people, but he's already promised them to someone already.
Well, I'll take care of you.
I thought, what a better way to come up here.
There you go.
And celebrate my birthday.
There you go.
To go to a game.
All right.
How about that?
Because today's my birthday.
Happy birthday, man. We'll figure out after the show how we're going to take care of all this.
All right.
By the way, there's some more love. They want you to sign Kareem to an NIL deal back here. They're loving it in the chat. But appreciate you guys for being here, Jim. Thank you again to you for having us out here and for what you're doing for BNN. And well, hopefully this is fun. Maybe we can try to do this again during the season and have you out again. And folks are loving it. A lot of people saying that they've purchased vehicles here and they're happy. And so we thanks as always. We appreciate everybody for make sure you get out here. You said they're open till 8. They open at 9 at LithiaFordBoise.com. Come on out. You can view the full inventory of vehicles, and you guys got a lot going on here.
Real quick, bye week, we're going to have Talon, Riley, and Paige here.
Oh, yeah. Tell us about that.
Yeah.
Do you have the date and time set up yet? Or?
Yeah, it's that Saturday of the bye week. I think that's October 21st.
Yep.
So we'll have Talon and Paige and Riley here signing autographs.
What time
later on in the afternoon?
Okay.
Paige has a game.
Okay.
At noon, and so after her game, they're all going to come out.
Okay, the 21st, Saturday of the bye week, like 3 or 4 o'clock, late afternoon. Come on out. You'll get more details. We'll help promote that once we get the exact time set up. But to make plans for that, to come out and see Talon and Riley and Paige, and that'll be pretty cool. So next time you're looking for a vehicle, there's no better place. Come do it here at Lithia Ford of Boise. And Jim, we appreciate it. Thank you to everybody for checking us out. That'll do it for today's show. We're going to end the show so Jim can figure out. You got a tough choice here, Jim. We're going to figure out how to give some tickets away. But we appreciate everybody for checking us out. Thanks, everybody, for having us here at Lithia Ford. Thank you to the 3 of you guys for stopping by. And should be fun tomorrow. Looking forward to it. Boise State and UCF. We'll be live with the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show, 2:30 tomorrow. We'll be down at the James Kitchen and Bar right across the street from the stadium. So if you're in the area tailgate and want to come over to the James, we'll be passing out some free swag, registering some folks. Our grand prize, I think, at Jim is a free keg. I don't know if you're in the need for your tailgate party. If you need a Stein Distributing is providing a keg and ice and all kinds of cups, everything you need for your next tailgate party. You got to come over to the James, though, and sign up. So we'll see you tomorrow, 2:30. For the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show. Enjoy the game, have fun, and we'll talk to you guys later. This is Bronco Nation News live from Lithia Ford. Are you guys actually on Fairview or are you on Maple Grove? You're on Fairview. What's the address?
Fairview and Maple Grove.
Fairview and Maple Grove.
8853 West.
There
Fairview.
it is. Come on, check them out. Purchase one of these new vehicles. You'll be really happy that you did. Our family is super happy with our F-150. So thanks. Have a great rest of your day. We will see you tomorrow. Albertson Stadium should be fun. Boise State and UCF. Full coverage. Bronco Nation News. BroncoNationNews.com.